Hey guys, welcome to day 28 of 31 days of Hypermobile workouts. My name is Eva. I am the creator of Hypermobile Friendly Workouts, and I'm very excited to take you guys through a forearm release. This I have promised you guys for a couple of weeks now. We are only going to focus on forearm release today, and this is for people who struggle with like wrist tension or just, doing anything down on their hands, particularly like hands and knees positions. If you struggle with that, this is going to be a really interesting video for you. So in essence, we are going to just do some like self-massage, and I'm going to show you some interesting techniques that you can use to help alleviate these muscles, because all of these muscles are pretty much responsible for the movement of your wrist and the strength of your wrist. And we live in a very 21st century world where we're constantly kind of like, stuck in these positions all day long, which can be very taxing for the forearms, especially when you have hypermobility and the joints or the connective tissue around your wrist is not very strong. So your muscles have to do twice as much work. So the big things to note when we're going into today is, first and foremost, as always, if anything is not feeling good to you or it's feeling too strenuous or not beneficial, please don't do it. This might just not be the release technique for you, and you don't have to do it. You are also not really going to need any equipment other than your hands. So the big things to note are, for the most part, these are all your flexors. These are the muscles that make your wrist go like that. And these are all your extensors. And these are the ones that make your wrist go like that. Now, there's obviously some other ones because our forearm has more motion than just up and down. But for our purposes, that's the big ones. And we're going to start by doing a kind of like flexor pronation release. I like to use my knuckles when I do this because I have very hypermobile fingers, and so trying to maintain consistent pressure with the use of my fingers is just not super accessible. So I've made up for it by using my knuckle or even just like the inside of my finger. And what we're going to do is we're going to find, so if this is your elbow joint, we're going to find the inside part of your arm just below the elbow joint. Naturally, we do not want to be digging into a joint space because, hello, we're hypermobile. If we're digging into a joint space, we're just making that joint further apart, and that is not what we want to do. We want to work on muscle tissue here. So I'm going to go right below into, this lovely little spot that for me tends to be pretty gnarly. And you can go like pretty lateral. This is a kind of a gnarly spot. You've got like a little muscle here. And for most people, I will say, like if you relax and like flex your hands, you'll feel it flex up a little bit. So that's also another nice way to find it. And if you are feeling the same things I am feeling, feel free to just stay on it for a second. And we're just gonna release this, kind of like cup the fingers underneath the other part of your arm and just stay in it. And this particular release for me is a really intuitive one. A lot of the movement that you're going to see out of me is not necessarily, it's not forced, it's not intentional. It's just following the weirdness of where my arm wants to go and following how the tissue wants to unwind. So you might be just that intuitive as well. You might find that there's a lot of movement and rotation happening. You may find that that is not the case for you and you're just really happy chilling and releasing this part of your arm. So that feels pretty unwound to me. So I'm going to get a little bit further down. Oh gosh, yeah, further down into the muscle. And you can see almost like from the shadow, you can see how like jacked up I am today. I've been doing a lot of laptop work recently and not enough forearm release. So again, I'm going to just kind of follow this and just see what happens if I all sorts of weirdness. And we're just going to continue to follow this down the arm. Yep, there we go. And you'll see I'm following the medial line of the arm. It's the kind of more inside the arm. maybe you get like blood flow. I just got like so much blood flow down into my hand. Oh God, that felt really good. And I definitely think I have to do the lateral, because whereas I got so much blood flow like into my pinky and my outside fingers, now my right one is feeling, my inside fingers are feeling left out. Okay. I'm gonna almost finish with that. You see how much just like, actually I think that might have been the thing for my index fingers, or my index finger. Very intuitive experience. All right, let's see. Nice. Okay, yeah. I think I'm gonna do a little bit on the lateral line now, so the outside. I guess technically it's actually, that's the medial side, but just depends on how you look at it. All right, so I'm starting back up high, a little bit lower than I was before. I'm just not feeling a whole lot up there, so kind of like a fourth of the way down my forearm. And guys, this isn't anything crazy. This is literally just like self-massage, but it's really, really helpful. Because all of these muscles are responsible for like the movement of our wrist. Sorry, there's like a whole shoulder thing happening here. Oh, that was cool. But these attachments, as you can see by how I'm like contorting weirdly, they all connect so much more deeply into the body. You know, we're not just releasing the forearm, we're giving your hand more range of motion. We're letting your shoulder reorganize. We're letting your elbow reorganize. I just got a spinal adjustment in my upper back right now in like a really nice way. So, you know, it's all so interconnected. This type of fascial work is so interconnected. We're never just working on one space in the body. We're not a car. We're not a car where we can just work on one thing. Okay. I could be on this for a very, very long time. So I'm gonna start winding down soon. I think this will be my last weird twist. I would love to know if you guys are feeling weirdness, or if you're like, what is this crazy lady talking about? Ooh, yeah. Alrighty. So, before we move on, oh my God, it's like insane how much more range of motion I have in my wrists right now. Okay, so with that being said, I think I know we're spending a long time on one arm. It's like, just goes to show, like, you could fascial release for a very long time. So I'm going to do a little bit through the extensors now. I am actually gonna start, I think, a little closer to my wrist. You really could go either way. You could start just below the elbow. It gets really ropey up here. Oh, that doesn't feel great. Maybe I'll work on this one spot that I just found. Change my mind. But yeah, but just try and find that spot, again, that kind of makes you go, woo. It's funny, like in my head, I was almost kind of thinking that like weird sensation I was getting in my index finger, in my head, I was like, oh, it almost feels like I need to do like some extensor release, and that is the thing. Oh, excuse me, this type of work just knocks you out. All right, I'm gonna go down to my wrist here and just see. Sorry, this video is not more interesting. I feel like I should have like background music on or something, but it's gonna be really, your arms are gonna feel great after this. Stay with it. Weird contortion. Woo. So I didn't have quite as much going on. I feel like I have almost like a sheath. Oh yeah, man, maybe I do have a little bit more going on than I thought. I almost feel like right here, I like almost like lose sensation a little bit. It just like feels weird. So I feel like I want to stay in that for a minute and see if it starts to unwind. So I almost feel like I kind of lose sensation. And I'm not pushing crazy hard, guys. Like I'm not mashing into my arm to like bruise. Like, you know, I don't have really a good way to measure how much force I'm using, but it's not a crazy amount. It's just to create a little bit of pressure. Oh yeah, lots going on this, my lovely little hypermobile elbow here for you. Okay. Whee! All sorts of weird contortions happening. All right, I think I'm good with that side. We'll just do the other side together if you want to join me. But so like, you know, I can tell you right away, I feel so much more tension through this thumb joint than I do on this side. I feel like a new woman right here. So, okay, I'm going to start high up just like I did. And I also recognize like we're doing this release for a long period of time. Holy Lord, definitely tighter on this side. I recognize like hypermobile hands can get tired really quickly. So if you can't do it for as long or need to take breaks, like that's fine. But this is also a nice release because it's one you can do anytime. Like you don't need to be in a structured, you know, a structured workout scenario. Like you can just do this on the bus ride home from work or something, or on the train. Oof, yeah, definitely a little tighter on this side. But I think there's going to be a lot of just intuitive unwinding happening here. Whee! Oh, Lord. That's going all the way into my back. You should see it when I like release my quads and stuff, like bigger muscles. It's just insane. But if you listen into the body and just the tissue will tell you which way it wants to go. I was working with a woman today in session, and like I don't do manual work on people when I work with them, but I teach, just like I'm doing with you guys, I teach people how to do manual work on themselves. And we did something like some fascial release, but for her pelvis and for her hips. And I was like having her use her own hands to kind of like guide the release. And she was like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And she was like mini contorting, like a little less than I'm doing now, but just the amount of feedback she was able to get was really great. And like she just, you know, kind of gave her an opportunity to listen in. Also, that thing in my thumb just released. That was cool. Okay, I'm going to take it a little further down. There's definitely more holding on this side though. So I'm gonna do another twist because apparently this is holding me a lot. I was thinking maybe I would want to do a whole I'd want to do like a whole series. Like I know I've talked about putting together like modules in like a program, and I was thinking I would want to do like a whole one of just like fascial release techniques for hypermobile people, so that we can do this type of like fascial release and unwinding of the tissues in just like a really supported way. Because I think trigger point release and this type of stuff is so helpful. Okay, I'm getting pretty close down to the wrist. Yeah, it's really right. It's same on the other side. Like right in here, I start to get really rubbery. It's weird. It almost feels like just a loss of sensation. So I am gonna stick with that for a minute. And I feel this, I'm on my like forearm, I feel this all the way down in my pinky. Whee! We're gonna follow that. A lot of rotation in this one. That felt good. Ooh, a lot less rubbery. Still a little bit, but a lot less. So I'm gonna start to flip onto the other side, because otherwise I'm gonna be here with you guys for like an hour. So yes. So let me flip to the other side. Oh yeah. That's gnarly. A little closer to the wrist is gnarly for me. So I'm right on top. Excuse me, guys. Oh, I'm at the end of my workday here, so. A lot of cool shifting through the upper back. I have a theory here, because my like upper back, shoulders, neck have been kind of sassy. Like particularly my neck and right shoulder. I know I told you guys about that one a couple weeks ago, and it's been a little sassy. And I do kind of wonder if my forearms are taking on so much more of the work, just like stability wise. Kind of like when your pelvis is hypermobile, and so your calves end up doing so much more of the work. It's kind of the same thing, like when the shoulders are out of whack, and so your forearms end up compensating for so much of the work, just as like a way to kind of stabilize, try to create stability. So I do kind of wonder about that. It seems like it would track, considering how much fascial connection I'm having right now to my upper back and shoulders, and just how freaking tight I am here. And I'm not actually that tight in my upper back. Like, I've been trying to do a lot of release and stability work with it, and I'm really just not that tight. So I think this was really good that we are doing this today. It's not just about the wrists, though the wrists definitely get a lot of benefit. All right, oh God, I'm gonna hit my last spot here. I feel this one all the way down to my middle finger. Ooh, lots of good things happening. That was a good spot to end on. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna stay with this for a few more breaths. Not gonna rush it. Whee. Lots of intuitive movement in that spot. That was surprising. That was cool. Alrighty, my dears. I'm gonna unwind, shake out the wrists, see what's happening. Ooh, that's awesome. So if you enjoyed this, like it, subscribe to it, comment on it. Let me know if there's any other spaces that you would want to do this type of like fascial release work. Also, if today's day 28, I would highly encourage you to check out day 27 as a follow-up to this. We started the class with like a short forearm release, but then went into some like hand and palm exercises that I think would be actually a really just awesome follow-up to this. And then I'll see if I'll try and like link it right there. Sometimes I forget. And then Yeah, and then like you could just do some like cool forearm wristy activation work. But if you're feeling really good right now, just like enjoy it, chill with it. And I will be back with another video for day 29 very shortly. See you later.